The conversations are quite interesting. Today would not be any different, and something to discuss with regards to certain activities of the state government. And this morning, it concerns CSOs, CLOs, NGOs, and all the other O's that you know about. Let me quickly remind you that we are on Facebook, so you can join the conversation live on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. That's what the handle is. If you haven't joined our Facebook community, now would be a perfect time to do that. So go on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Do well to like the page and join in on the live stream. All right. You can also do the same on YouTube at Nigeria Info PH, on X at Nigeria Info PH. Now, I'll go over to introducing my guest, no other than the Special Advisor to the Governor on Civil Society Relations, Achor Prince. So you're welcome. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Fiomi. Thank you for having me.
All right. I think this will be the very first time we're having a conversation face-to-face.
Yeah, live on studio. Yeah, first time.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to talk about. And where do I begin? All right. Let's start with what's most trending with regards to your office. And that is the call that we've heard for CLOs, CSOs, NGOs to visit the office and register with the government. Am I correct?
Yeah.
What's the intention of it? Because there are many people that have different opinions about this particular move and the announcement. Some people have, over the years, in most recent times, I won't say over the years, not very at its peak, but in most recent times, people no longer look at CSOs and CLOs as what they stood for. And people hearing this move now would say, why do we need to register with the government? So what's the catch?
That is exactly what we're talking about and the reason why I'm here. You can agree with me that over the time, the CSO, the NGOs, the CLO, and the CBOs as community-based organizations have over the time been marginalized by previous administration. Well, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Rivers State, who is a career-oriented person, an astute administrator, has thought it necessary that this agency's contribution to development and economic development of the state over time need to be given all-inclusive, a sense of belonging to in his administration. So that is so pointed. And you understand with me that this office in particular, the Civil Society Relation Office, is not in existence, but he created this. So the purpose is to give them sense of belonging in administration. And he knows the pivotal role which they have played over time to make sure that the government and the state at large move
so
forward.
It's not basically to know how many of these organizations are in the state.
Yeah, the essence of profiling, or the essence of having them registered, is to know how many. Like so far, beginning from Sunday when we started airing this advert till date, I must you agree with me, or I will tell you that we have had about 300 and something registered so far with us, with our body, or with the state government. That's also with the essence of it is that nobody just comes by and claim that he's this. 2-3 persons don't just go together and say that they are this, they are that. We need to know who you are. We need to know how you operate, your office, and so on, and your purpose of operation in Rivers State. So it's necessary that so that when His Excellency we unveil his plans for them, then every one of them who are registered with us will be carried along. That's the essence.
Should anybody be worried that this might influence the activities of these organizations, especially as it might directly concern the administration, this state government?
To me, I feel it not influencing.
I mean, it will be almost, for some people, it might be almost impossible to criticize how you should a government that, is putting all this in place and having you on board.
Yeah. Like he made a promise, like during the scorecard presentation of His Excellency in his 1 year in office, at Obiwele Center precisely. He made a promise. A question was thrown to His Excellency, asking him or wanting to confirm his plan for NGOs operating in Rivers State. And he made a promise that he's having a plan to create an umbrella body where every one of them will operate. And that umbrella body is the office which has created the Civil Society Relation Office. So that is what it is.
So is there anything that they benefit from the government, the organizations, beyond them being the government knowing, okay, we know this name and that name and that name, and so in the future, if any name comes up and you don't have it in data, they would not be recognized by the government?
Fine, they will if they are properly presented. They will, you understand, they will. But to make it short, this is what it is, and it is very necessary that those of them who have been existent should kind of have themselves been part of the government. There's a time for the government to give back to the NGOs in Rivers State, having been used over time in the previous administration. You agree with me from aside Dr. Peter Dele, who was a professional media practitioner. The previous governors of these states are pure politicians. So they didn't know the importance of this body, supporting the economic development of the state. These are non-governmental, non-profit making body, you understand? So they give back to the society and so on. So it is now a thing of the government under the administration of Asimilai Efubara to give back to them, having contributed to the economic development of Rivers State over time.
Some have, in recent times, many have looked at civil liberty organizations and society organizations have been political and putting personal interest beyond what the core mandate for which these organizations were established in the first place. With what the situation is now in Rivers State politically, and what is happening with the economy of the country, and it would include Rivers State because we are part of that, the country. Some would expect that, some would say that doesn't this move then come across as one that might make it quite difficult? I mean, we had the protest recently, and we had several of these organizations part of the protest. With a situation like this, would the government in any way hinder their activities, or will the organization still freely do what they have to do and do what they have been doing and what they should be doing, regardless of whether they are now profiled or recognized or established or registered with the government?
Yeah, having them be recognized by Rivers State government does not stop them from what they feel is necessary for them. They are non-governmental organization. They have sense of belonging, and they have contribution to economic and the political development of every state where they operate. So having them come to register with Rivers State government or to be part of Rivers State government has nothing to do with them not stopping them from operating what they feel is necessary. If you understand, the last time during the last protest of Operation Occupy Nigeria, Hunger, whatever, amongst the 6 states of Nigeria, it was His Excellency Asimilai Efubara who has the God. That's because he's a people's friendly governor. He came out and addressed them, and he told them that he has a plan. He has a project which he will make sure that every one of them we go back to their various houses or go back to their organization smiling. So that is still part of the plan today. So the whole thing of this having them be registered or identified with Rivers State government is to make sure that whatever the plan is essentially have for them is being unveiled, and for everyone then to be part of it.
So this means that if there's any protest in the future, I mean, we've been hearing talks about an October 1 protest. We're seeing what the economy is like with the recent fuel petrol situation, and perhaps that happens and then there is a protest. Are we saying that in any way, shape or form, the government would not want to get these organizations to say, that is not the aim. That is not the objective of this whole body, this whole thing. That is not the aim. They have right to exercise their civic right as citizens of the country. So it's not a plan for the government to wanting them to stop or say, oh look, don't do this, don't do that. No. His Excellency is an administrator. He's a career civil servant who rose from the lowest cadre of civil service to the highest rank, and today he's #1 citizen of Rivers State, and virtually the leader of all political party or leader of people of Rivers State. So there's no plan of such, wanting to have them being what is called, is it team or whatever. No, there's no plan of such. Right. There are those that also think that civil society organizations are not as effective as they should be, and now personal interest has become the order of the day. We'll get into that, but let me remind the guests that we are live on Facebook. So if you're listening to us and you have questions that you would want to direct to my guest, well, on Facebook it is Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. I take that again, Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. That is the handle on Facebook Live, so you can join in on the conversation and drop your questions. Now, quickly, beyond recognizing, registering or profiling them, the jobs of these organizations sometimes becomes really difficult, especially when it involves police brutality and all of those. We've seen many rights organizations in Rivers State try to ensure that justice is served and fight and hold up the rights of citizens. the Chima Ekunado is one very particular case. I'm sure you're aware of that case and how many rights organizations got involved. That's just to mention a few amongst the many that we have. Beyond this, what else is the government going to do to help these people do their work better? Is the government going to help them in liaising with the police to give them better or friendly environment to work? Or how else is the government going to aid their work to see that their voice means something?
Like I told you earlier, your whole question is boiled down to the essence of the creation of this body. His Excellency has such plan. It is very, very necessary because having them been known by Rivers State government, it is through my office that challenges can be channeled. Like you talked about Chima. In the previous administration, we understand the humiliation they have passed through. We understand the contributions they have made to the society. But the previous governors, wanting to exercise political power, not full administrators, have a way of wanting to get them deserted or whatever, putting infesting fear in them. But His Excellency is not that kind of person. That's why I say, no, if you have a problem, you have a challenge, you want this government to do this for you, or to assist you on this, on that, you channel your this thing to this to this body. That's the Office of Civic Society Relations. That's my office precisely. You channel your challenge, you get your petition there. You can even ask for Corsico. You can even request for Corsico. So whatever you decide, probably your channel will probably challenge. That is now left for me, after reaching out to Mobi, to get to His Excellency, because I report directly to him. That's the directive he gave. I report directly to his office. So probably when you come to the office and make your complaint, either written or verbal, I'll definitely get to him. Then he will come out with a plan for you, or the body. So what used to be is totally gone. This is a new body, or this is a new aim, or this new objective of the government of His Excellency Sasimla Ifubara for NGOs in Rivers State.
Is there a way that the government would also checkmate or look at the activities of these NGOs to be sure that what they say that they are doing is what they do?
That is why it is not in our place to begin to checkmate, so that they don't say that governments humiliate them or whatever. No.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not big. I mean, you would understand why I'm asking this is because we have seen NGOs being used for other purposes or being used as a cover to launder, to do many other activities. We've seen rights organizations turning into pressure groups, political figures. We've seen these things happen in this country. And so if that is the case, is that not at the back of the mind of the government to also look at, say, let's be sure and know that these people, what they say they are for is what they are for, and we do not end up creating an office for a group of people that at the end of the day are not really serving the intended purpose?
They are already registered. The NGOs are already registered before the creation of the office. So the essence of having them registered with Rivers State government is to know where they operate, their purpose of operation, and so on. Not wanting to stop them. As I'm talking to you, I've had a directorate, from one quarter that will have about 1,000 plus NGOs operating in Rivers State. But virtually few of them are formally registered with CSO, Corporate Affairs Commission. But you see 2-3 persons come together, claim to be an NGO without an office, without being registered. So that is why we want to bring all of them now, or His Excellency has planned to bring all of them to an umbrella body, so that if you say you're an NGO operating in Rivers State, what is your plan? How will you contribute to development and the peace which already exists in Rivers State? So come, let's partner with you. Come, let's work together. Come, let's see how your idea to development of Rivers State will work in tandem with the administrative plan of His Excellency Sasimla Ifubara. So that is the essence.
All right. We'll be taking a few calls. We'll start with messages on WhatsApp. The number is 0809-030-6416. 0809-030-6416 is the WhatsApp number. And the numbers to call are 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, and again 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. I'm sure you have questions that you want to ask. Let's see. First is on the line. Good morning, Nigeria Info.
Good morning. My friend.
All right, what's your name, please?
Yes, my name is Akanto.
Okay.
I'm calling from Borogo. Good morning, our guest.
All right, go on.
Yes, mine is just because it's a pertinent assessment based on Andrew asked me the essay to the governor. Yes, my name is Akanto, as you know. I have been crying. In the newspaper report this morning, Andrew can also attest to the fact that I raised an alarm what I found through. There was a time, that a few months ago, before the comeback of this, I was a supporter of the Excellency, and I was arrested. My shop was demolished in Bori. I was arrested in police station for some days, and I was arrested in the chief magistrate in Bori on a front of charges. Even when the bail condition was met, my friends and things, they were there, pay my bail condition. I was risked by police in Bori, but led by the divisional police officer in Bori, and done at the correctional center in Port Harcourt, for about more than 2 weeks. Now, I want to ask, I have visited my family, visited all the civil rights organizations. I will not mention, I know, including my own friend, and know that the civil rights organizations refuse to do something to me. Sir, I am in a court now. I don't have anything. That the person that arrested me was the former council chairman because I was supporting.
All right, you'd hold that thought.
I want to seek for your support.
All right, I'm pretty sure that's been noted. He would respond. But we have to go for a commercial now. When we come back, we'll begin from here. Stay with us. Morning Crossfire. My name is Ifeemi Andrew, and with us in the studio is Special Advisor to the Governor on Civil Society Relations, Achor. The conversation has been quite insightful, trying to make us understand the plans and move by the government to get the CSO, CLO, NGOs, and all that we think about non-profile with so before they know you're alive. The WhatsApp number remains 0809 030 6416. The phone numbers are 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0003. Again, 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. All right, let me come to my guest. We heard the caller before the break from Bori talking about how his rights were abused. The police was involved. He mentioned the police, and I think it was a DPO. Who did he mention? I can't remember. A police officer involved. And how he said he had tried to get to many of the rights organizations to see how they can help. And none of them have bothered to done anything about the situation or even given him any form of hope. I don't know if perhaps you might say it's not in the government's place to decide what these people do. Our own is just to know them and ensure that, okay, this is the number of kini that we have in the state. But I think it's important we begin to now look at how, and then perhaps you knowing the organizations in Rivers State now say, okay, let's hook you up with this one or link you up with that one. Perhaps they can help with this matter. Is that something that's been considered? Exactly,
Ifeemi. You see, my office is not a human rights practitioner office. If an individual, like the caller has mentioned, how his right has been violated, humiliated, and so on, what you have to do is that when you arrive the office to make your complaint, if maybe probably you've gone to certain NGOs and they refuse to give you attention, if you come to our office, it will be in our place to say, okay, visit NGO A, visit NGO B and C, and so on. And probably we'll have to call them. And I also have that plan of setting up a committee, who will be like a liaison committee with these NGOs. Just most times, or sometimes if I'm not in a place where I can, maybe probably one or two engagement, the committee will be very functional to make sure that this every Rivers indigent have a right of or his right being protected one way or the other. So when you have certain challenge, we'll bring you come to the office if you so wish. If an NGO refuses to give you attention, then probably we'll link you up. So that is the essence of the profiling. We need to know what you do. We need to know what you do. We need to know your essence of operating as a non-governmental organization. Even if it's giving back to society or non-profit organization, fine. What do you do? Are you for human rights? Are you providing community service?
But what about the politics within the organizations? I know you didn't want me to ask you this question, but I'm going to ask you regardless. The organizations, do they really work together or work as one? Because it's same goal. So, or is it more a thing of some people using these organizations as a way to see how much funds they can access, or put themselves in a position where they can be noticed, or the list goes on and on. Some of them see how they can use this as a way to delve into politics. Does these things, do they raise any concerns for you and your office?
I cannot speak about that Ifeemi right now because I've not had the experience. Yeah. My office is barely 3 weeks. 3 or 2 weeks, and it's a new office he's essentially created. I didn't inherit any file, so whatever thing that have to be made by the organization or the office have to be created by me. So I cannot speak if there's a clique, if they are there for personal aggrandizement, if they are there for politicking or whatever. I can't speak, but I've not had the experience. So probably if time permits me in time to come, if I have such, I will speak up to Rivers people here, I swear. But for now, I can't talk about that because I've not had the experience.
All right, let's go back to the phone lines quickly and hear a few of the calls, what the callers have to say. 0817-923-0002. You've been following the conversation. You heard the questions I've asked. You might have yours to ask. Let's hear. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Good morning.
Good morning, the very distinguished Femi Andrew.
All right.
I remain the very distinguished Temple Okere. I think the question you asked, I would say, is indeed a very direct one.
Oh, Temple Okere. Unfortunately, you got interrupted by your service provider, I think. So do well to place a call through again, and we would talk with you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, JJ.
And good morning to your guest in the studio. JJ is my name.
All right, go ahead.
Andrew, okay, let me ask your guest the question. Don't you think that there's a need to also interface with the Human Rights Department of the police? Because I know they have a desk. I don't know who is heading it right now, the police headquarters. But before now, it used to be one Bernard. So I don't know if you need to interface with them so that when such report comes, usually from the police angle, you can reach to the police and see how to settle it amicably and everybody go. That's alternative dispute resolution. But for the civil society, I think they also have clear cleavages and all those put together. Well, over time you will see them and you will work on them. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
All right, thank you. We'll come to what he said with regards to the police, Human Rights Department. But Nigeria Info, good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. Walter is my name.
All right, Walter.
Yes, like JJ said, I know recently I met the Human Rights and CP's office. They have Human Rights. And this one was talking civil service commission. Their job not the same. I don't want to work in Paris Paso. Why should they be creating different offices and different ideas? Why they are pushing one thing? Why? I want to ask your kind.
All right, thank you. All right, so he's saying Nigerian folk. I'm pretty sure the questions are noted. We'll get a response to it. Good morning. Your name, please.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Sorry, it's so noisy over here, but look, you hear me? I really want to commend the governor, for trying to recognize this. This is what true democracy is. But you hear me? I don't know, this civil society organization, you were asking him about the politics in it. Honestly, you hear me? I don't really know, because there is somehow some of them, their body language will not be, at least sympathetic to one or two, maybe former or president or subsequent, government. But I want to plead with them, please, irrespective of who they support.
All right. Oh, I repeat the same situation with Temple. You could do well to call back, please. I think we're having some issues. Good morning. All right, Dakuku.
I want to start one day the organization which we are. What was their duty when the government is going wrong to the citizens of the state and country? What is their performance and that they will be taking over the government when they are crossing the boundaries of citizens? Another one is that let me ask them why most people making on this state or a country where people are living and dictate them they can take action. Let me thank you. This is from a pocket change.
All right, Dakuku, thank you very much. Some of the questions, okay, let's get your response to a few of them that we've had already, or add one more call first. Then we get your response before we come back and take some more. Good morning, Nigeria Info.
Good morning, Andrew.
All right, good morning. All right, Gift, go on.
Yeah, let me just tell your guest straightforward now that it will not even see the light of the day. It has happened here in Bayelsa before under Timothy Silva. I will not mention the particular man that was handling that position. He's now a king from Ogbea Axis. You're from Bayelsa, so you understand. I have headed an operation before, so I know these things. The truth of the matter is this. Most of those persons, they are tending to support a particular governor or president. The only civil societies that I respect so much is CLO, Civil Liberty Organization. Then one other one, I will not mention that one, but this particular one that I mentioned here, my brother, you can take it to the bank. That registration thing, it happened here in Bayelsa. I did not see the light of the day. because at the end of the day, the ulterior motive, the undertone, we understand them. They did it here. So the same thing will play out in, and just go and register with CAC, then EFCC, because it is non-profitable. You register with these bodies. That's all. We should state government. It's just job for the boys. Chopping for him. Thank God. Congratulations to him in that studio. Forget about it. To not see the light of the day. These organizations that are beleface. Thank you.
All right. He describes them as beleface. On WhatsApp, this one says, where is the Rivers State Office of Civil Society Organization located? And your guest phone number. Would like to have that too. This one says, I think these rights organizations are now appendages of political parties. What they do these days is speak for politicians and protect their interests. One prominent member of the rights group is now the legal advisor of the APP, a party purported to be sponsored by the state government. Uzoma Chima, you sent that message. Another person said, my question is, what is wrong with the RSSDA? We never heard of them since the end of the Mitchell administration. How can we come in as a youth advocacy group, Omaso Youth Alliance, UYA? Okay, it says they have something being sponsored by to reduce drug abuse and crime in River State. I've tried to reach out to several people, but no. How can we collaborate? Silas from Erema is sending in that message. Okay, and just I think as fate will have it, we have another Silas on the line. Is it the same Silas from Erema? If it is, we already got your WhatsApp message. So, hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes.
This is Silas.
Go on.
Yes, I have two questions. I don't know whether you've heard the same. You've read the WhatsApp messages.
Go ahead. What are the questions?
The issue, one of the issues I have is RSSD has been very, very effective during the time of Amechi. So I don't really know what happens to it, if there is anything that can be done to resuscitate it, or if we are actually working on it. And again, I am representing River State on a project that has to do with the reduction of drug abuse and crime rate in River State. And I've put so many effort to see how I can connect.
All right. Unfortunately, Silas, sorry to interrupt you, but I think we took that on the WhatsApp message already. So my guest will respond later on. Leighton Barry from Bori, good morning.
Good morning, if you hear me, Andrew.
Yep. Good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning to your guests.
Good morning.
Yeah, my concern goes to the civil society organization in River State. And it has been a very disheartening issue that the civil society were nowhere to be found when we needed them. At the time protests were about taking place, we see people were not duly conducted or coordinated. Because if the civil society were part of that protest, it would have been duly organized. You see, people were going for protest without even a placard. You know, it was having they were having no direction. They carried leaves, which represent peace, but they were using those sticks and leaves to destroy vehicles, vandalize, do a lot of things, commit a lot of mayhem. And the civil society were, in fact, I saw them as political then, very partisan, and they've not actually shown themselves. It is bothering me because I don't know where to start from, because I was expecting any day they will come on air. You see, they need to re-strategize and go back to their drawing board with their attitude and their activities. It is not really okay with some of us. Thank you.
All right, Leighton Barry, thank you very much. Let's go to GRA. Andy Akwotive is on the line. Hello, Andy. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Andrew.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, our commissioner.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for what you are doing. But there are a few suggestions or a few remarks that I want to make regarding this.
Go ahead.
First off, leadership or those in government cannot always be seen themselves as the orgas, quote unquote. You are servants. You are people who get there to work for us. Civil society space in River State has made River State what it is. I can tell you that because I've been actively involved in it for the last 15 years. The Chima Okonodu's case that you cited, he started it, began it, prosecuted it. When you want to do a thing like this, you don't talk from the high heavens to us. You engage the people. Have you sought to see a NEPA judge, for instance, and he is unable to say to you that these are the total number of civil society organizations, these are the active leaders that we have? Have you sought to say, when the government wants to do things, they go to bring people who are not involved in anything civil society in Rivers State? And it's so annoying. You are not engaging the right people. People who had never been in any meeting to better the loss of Rivers people or Rivers, those who live in Rivers, they have never been involved. We have never seen them in any meeting. They have never taken part in any organization. They just put them there, and when they get there, they start talking like they're in Cloud 9, or they start talking like they're in a different firmament. We are saying that government must engage the right people. If you want to do, there's nothing wrong, essentially, with organizing, with government. Nothing is wrong with it, because everywhere else in the world, in UK, for instance, you have those society organizations that, are proper, that are known, properly registered. But there are a few other things in Nigeria that cannot make that be. You engaged the right people and listened to them before coming on air to make these very highfalutin promises, and one of two things will happen. You will get everybody who is sincerely prosecuting issues for Rivers people to run inside and not even speak anymore and say, after all, who is paying me? Who is giving me money? Or you will get them to get aggressive with the system. There are ways to do this.
All right, Andy.
People properly.
Thank you very much. Let's see if we can take a few messages on Facebook, and my guest responds. Gospel AK says civil society organizations are not as effective as they should be due to the negative influence of the government on organizations. The government prefer to give money to individuals who are heading these organizations rather than attending to the demands of these organizations, which have diverted the interests of leaders of these organizations to their own personal interests. The government should attend to demands to better the society. And choice, Uche Chichizurun is saying, how do I locate the office? Okay, let's come to you now quickly, Mr. Ona. You've heard some of the callers, you've heard their positions and thoughts, so a response then.
Okay, let me begin with the last, the last question from Choice. Our office is located at Point Block, 10th floor, Rivers State Secretariat Complex, the Wing A. The offices are open on a daily basis from 9 in the morning to 4 p.m. But many times, time permit, if I have some engagement to attend to in the office, I stay above 4 p.m. But I resume from 8 to 9. My secretary usually there by 8. So for me, I leave by 8 to 9. I'll be in the office. So the office is Point Block, 10th floor, Rivers State Secretariat Complex. Then let me also respond to Andy's question. Andy, you talked about engaging the right people. You see, over time, like I said earlier, this office has not been consistent. He says he created it for this purpose. The purpose is getting the right people come to identify with the government. If you did not come to the office for me to have interaction with you, how will I know you're the right person for the job? And if you, the right person, refuse to come to the office and the wrong person comes and I give the wrong person attention, how will I know he's the wrong person? So it's only when the right and wrong come, then I can now filter it and know who's right and wrong in the business of NGOs in Rivers State. So Andy, I want to wholly invite you to the office. You just had the address to come for us to have interaction. You tell me your idea, you tell me your past experience. Like I told you, the office is newly created and it certainly has aims and objectives for it. So when you come to the office, we can interact. You give me a proposal, if you have a plan or whatever, then we'll begin from there. We'll move forward. So that is what it is. A caller also asked a question about visiting, about interacting or maybe having an interaction or meeting with the police human right department. That is totally perfect. Even as I'm talking to you, we have already done a letter by my secretary to reach out to the police human right department. Probably I know that if it is sent this week, by next week I'll have their consent. Not just them, I have a plan of paying other human rights body a courtesy call, to for a familiarity with them.
Yeah, the NBA.
I will. I was in talk with the Labour president in Rivers State. Alex Gwan, the other day we spoke. He was out of town. Maybe probably would have met, before now. Other bodies out there. So like I told you, we're just barely 2 weeks in office. So I pray that you will give us time, and I assure you that His Excellency has a plan for this office before he created it. And as such, so many of them will be attended to. Thank you.
Is there a for those who perhaps get into the office might be a bit of a stretch, maybe they don't reside in Faga or Biakpo, how do they do it? Is there no contacts or that they can use, or they must have to come to the secretariat?
Yeah, we said it so because why we don't want to drop our contact is that even when you call on contact, you still need to come to the office. If you want to come inquiry, to have a proper inquiry, you come to the office. I want to avoid the situation where you may call, maybe I might be in a meeting, or maybe my phone will probably switch off. You will not claim that SA has switched off this one, whatever. After office, I have a family to attend to, So they also have their time as well. I need to give my children, my wife, I need to give them attention and so on. So I try to avoid the situation where you call when it's not official and you have my number being switched off or your call not being taken and you say I don't take call. So whatever question you have to inquire from the phone call or whatever, everything boils down to come in to identify or hear from us. So indulge everybody to visit the office. But with time, we'll make a phone number available for Rivers people.
All right.
Or probably when the committee is being formed. Because I told you have to formalize on the office with the NGOs, Probably their contacts will be made available for Rivers people to...
Okay, we'll see if we can take one more call before we draw the curtain here on the conversation. On Facebook, Nigeria Info 92.3 PH is the handle, and we are streaming live, so you can join us. And let's hear what your thoughts are. Quickly, this one is from Christian. Christian, good morning.
I'm calling from Rukboko area.
Go on, Christian. Christian, good morning. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Ambassador Christian Obi, the chairman of Coalition of NGO, CBOs, and CSOs in River State.
Go ahead,
Christian.
I want to speak and commend His Excellency, Executive Governor of River State, for listening to the cry of the civil society groups in River State. This is a fight that we have been fighting for over 9 good years. We couldn't get it in the past administration. But here we are. His Excellency has decided to inculcate the NGO, the civil society groups, into his government. Because he is a governor that listens to us. And to crown it all, he has been able to install somebody who is a vibrant youth to manage the affairs of civil society groups in River State. So I'm calling on all the civil society groups, all the NGOs, for them to go and identify with
Christian, let me ask you one question quickly in a few seconds as we wrap up. Do you have cliques and divisions among the NGOs and CSOs in River State?
We do not have. We are intact.
There are no leadership issues. We have everybody pursues one goal.
Everybody is pursuing.
So does that mean that we're going to have the leadership represent all these NGOs and CSOs in River State when you want to pay a courtesy call to the government?
Yes. Come again.
Unfortunately, we don't have all the time. Well, that will be a conversation for another time. Mr. Anna, we have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much. Hopefully, we'll continue to engage as you make progress in your office.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Stay with us.
Good morning.
Nigeria Info.